Hello, look at all this stuff I got. All this fun stuff. And Richard, I'm Falcro. Welcome. I'm glad you're here because this may be very useful for you. It's uncanny how guys I know who play and love playing their guitars have very similar problems with their instruments quite often. And what I'm doing on this one is very, very similar to what you have going on yours. The big difference is that this Telly, this is Scott, my new, yeah, my name, the singer of my band. This is his guitar, and he just inherited this guitar, and he absolutely loves it. He played it at our gig this weekend. He played so well. The band, you guys would have absolutely been so proud of us. You guys being the guitar players in my life. We all played so well. Very proud of the guys in the band. And we walked away from that one feeling very good about our performances and our interaction with the audience and the facility itself. If you ever get to Eastern Oregon, Northeast Oregon, in the northeast corner of Oregon in Baker City, visit Barley Brown's and go have dinner. And if you can, enjoy some of their craft beer. They're a brewery. And if you go to the tap house, they will take you back and show you how they make the stuff. And the smell in that place is uncanny, unforgettable. Smells kind of weird, of course. If you've ever been a brewery, you know what I'm talking about there. But I again want to say a huge thank you to the entire staff at Barley Brown's, in particular the owner. He was so kind to us, and his I don't know if he's second in command, but one of his employees there, a gentleman named Ad Collard, who books bands there. They have live music quite often at their tap house, and the guys were just so hospitable, so giving, and so kind to us. We were treated so well, and we're grateful for that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So we're going to get busy here on this one because this again belongs to the vocalist in my band, and we have a gig, more gigs coming up this weekend. Keep your eyes peeled to my channel because we're probably going to live stream one or both of those shows this coming Friday. Let's see, what's the date? June 14th, and Saturday, June 15th. Definitely the 14th, we're likely going to live stream. So you get to watch us play live. I not only fix guitars, but I do play them. And I'll play this one a little bit when I'm done here. It won't take too long, but there are some very important things that I'm going to do when I perform the work on this guitar to not cause potentially more damage with the materials that I'm going to use. And yes, there's more than one way to perform this repair. One way takes a long time. The way that I'm going to do it today can be done very quickly. Even if I had a gig tonight, this thing will be done. Importantly on this one, let me get my, give me just a moment. I'm still getting all the tools that I need, here, or the chemicals more specifically. Need some CA glue hardener, or it actuates the hardening properties of it, makes it harden very quickly. But that's a very important detail. If you're using CA glue on anything that requires a very smooth finish, don't spray the hardener on the CA glue very quickly after you use it. You've got to allow the glue to sit there and start to dry on its own first before you hit it with the speed up. Yes, it'll speed up the drying process, but when you hit it when it's real wet, it will cause ripples and bubbles and things like that. And also, it can turn the CA glue white. So if you're putting it on something that's colored, which even a piece of wood has color, it can whiten that and make it very obvious that a repair was done. It won't make the repair any less worthy of not feeling any damage, but you'll see it. And so my goal today is to get this done without being able to see that I did anything on this guitar, which requires some polishing and sanding and some special tools that I use. So I'm just going to go through stuff. I have my CA glue with my tiny spout here. That allows me to get that line of CA glue that I'm going to repair. This very small, so I don't have an exorbitant amount of glue hitting the damaged portion of the finish on this. I don't know how the damage occurred. Forensic science says that the skunk stripe in the back of this neck shrunk and it cracked the finish. That's my forensic science, and that's where it ends on this one. So there's a small crack in the back of the neck that when he's playing, he can feel it with his thumb, and it's a little bit annoying to have that going on. If you've had a ding in the back of your fingerboard where your guitar has hit the side of a table, or your bass player bumped into it, which is usually what happens with his head stock on his bass, you get a big ding in the back of the neck. It can be very uncomfortable to feel that stuff. You want a very smooth surface on that. So that's what we're going to do with Scott's guitar today. So I'm going to get started on this right now, and I'll tell you kind of what I've done here to help this process go quickly and smoothly. No pun intended. I have taped off either side of the damage that's happened. It's gone right down the edge of the skunk stripe, the darker piece of wood here, and it ends about right here, and it starts right up here at the very top of this. So this whole section of the skunk stripe has the finish that's cracked away from it. And I've put tape on here to help prevent the glue from running down the side of the neck and creating more work for me. I also have a paper towel here that I will use to soak up any excess glue if I get a little bit too much on there, which almost always happens. I also have 3 different grades of sandpaper. I've got some 400 grit to level it out. I have some 600 grit to level it out even further. And I have some 1000 grit, and I'm also going to hit it probably with some 2000 grit to smooth it out, and then I'll be able to polish the damage. I'm also going to use a scalpel to scrape any of the glue off to help the process go a little bit more quickly rather than sanding on it for hours potentially. I'm being very exaggerative when I say that. I'm exaggerating. So I'm putting a brand new curved blade in my scalpel. This is a very important tool for this process. So let's get started. Falcro, you're going to love this, I think. And we talked about this just, I think, Thursday, in fact, or maybe Friday with Ruby. So this is how you can help get her back in shape. I'm going to get rid of that blade. So what I've done is I used some Roncinol lighter fluid because we will be burning this guitar down to the ground, so just get ready for that. But I use this to clean off the fingerboard and get rid of any material that might have been on this that the CA glue will not stick to. It will stick to lacquer and wood very well, and CA glue sticks to nothing but itself better than anything. So now I'm going to get started doing this right now. Here we go. So I'm going to take my bottle with my extra tip on here to help the flow of the glue go very smoothly, and I'm going to go very, very slowly with this. And we just get a little bit on there, and we're going to have a really smooth hand. And getting this stuff started, there we go. Getting way too much on here, but that's all right. I can take some off. Getting way too much on here as it is, but I'm filling this gap where the finish is cracked on this thing, and I'm putting enough glue on here that the glue is proud of the original finish, and you can see that the tape has helped keep that CA glue from landing on the fingerboard and causing a mess and more work. There we go. Now, this is an important part. I can see right here you don't want to hit this with the activation chemical too quickly, and you want to go very, very shallow layers of glue on this. And you'll notice that this glue does not dry very quickly. It's still very wet at this point. So we'll let that sit. And again, this is the type of glue that I use. I buy it at the Hobby Habit, which is a local craft and hobby shop here in my town. And we're grateful that they're here because they have helped me with tools and material to fix, I don't even know how many guitars. Now, right here in this crack, there's a very deep spot, and thus I'm allowing the CA glue to begin to harden all on its own, and I'm not going to hit it with the speed up juice, is what I like to call it. This is just in a Guitar Honey bottle that I cleaned out, and this used to have Guitar Honey in it, but it works as a great little spray bottle for me. So I rarely get rid of these things because they're always helpful in using them for just a little bit of water, or again the activator. And let's see, what do they call it? I think it's called activator. Instaset, the BSI Instaset. This is what I use to help speed up the drying process of the CA glue. All right, so there's a little bit of insight into what I use to make my job easier and to do my job correctly, right? What do you think? I need to drink some coffee. Oh shucks. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Hang in there. I know this is terribly exciting right now. Okay. Now that I have my famous coffee from my what is this place? Stanley. I love this coffee mug. It does a great job keeping my coffee nice and hot for hours. So I can see I have a little excess CA glue right here, and I'm going to try and soak some of that up. Got a little crazy with it. And you can see that the excess glue is going onto the tape instead of onto the finish of the guitar, which potentially would create more work for me. And again, it's been about 1.5 to 2 minutes since I put the CA glue on this. So I'm going to go over this one more time. And I know that this section right here, there's an actual crack that's fairly deep. It's where the glue joint between the skunk stripe is what it's called, and the neck of the guitar is, and it's cracked. It's shrunk a little bit and caused this separation of the finish on this poor guitar. And again, when I'm done with this, it'll look kind of bad initially. It won't look real pretty, but we'll make it look pretty. I'm using just a very, very tiny amount and going in very light layers of the CA glue. And once the CA glue is dried, when you put more CA glue on it, it will stick to itself better than anything. I know I've said that already, but believe me, if you try to glue something back together again with CA glue and it doesn't stay, if you glue it again, it will stick to itself perfectly. It's good stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, and Falcro, it's totally fine to allow it to dry itself. And in fact, I would say in my experience, if you haven't worked with it a lot, you're probably better to just be patient. I am often in a situation where I've got to try and get stuff done in a hurry. Whereas this one, I don't have to worry about it until next Friday, but I want to give his guitar back to him today. So I am going to use the accelerator on this one, but it's totally unnecessary. And as much as people like to think that this stuff dries in a couple of minutes, it really doesn't. Even on the bottle, you're instructed to allow it, this particular brand, to sit for about 24 hours before it's fully cured. I know it's super glue, right? It's not super glue, it's CA glue. Now I can see that I've got a little extra here, and I know my hand's getting in the middle of the video here, but I'm doing my best to keep myself from having a whole bunch of extra work on this. And so I'm soaking up a little bit of the excess glue. That way I won't have to scrape it off or sand it off. So I'm just saving myself a little bit of work here. And I can tell that the glue is hardening. I can feel it's getting sticky. Tacky, I should say. I'm going to let this sit for another 30 seconds or so, and then I'll hit it one more time. And we're going to watch this little problem with the finish disappear. It's pretty cool. And I will wet sand this when I'm done. When I get to the point of sanding, I am going to wet sand it. You got to be careful when you're sanding this, because the finish, the lacquer is definitely a lot softer than the CA glue. And so you want to be very careful to not sand through the lacquer, and then you end up with a bare wood spot that you end up having to cover again with more CA glue to get that covered. Now, yes, you could go over this with some lacquer and some lacquer thinner, and that will help melt the old original lacquer into the new stuff. And it would be a great way to do this repair, but I really want to get this one done. And in my humble opinion, I feel like the CA glue is a much stronger product to use to repair a crack like this. And it gets down into the crack and helps to seal the material that is missing. And I can see that I've already gotten this thing filled. And I think that I've gotten enough material glue on here to call this pretty much good. Now I'll know when I start scraping on it with my razor blade whether I've gotten enough. I want the glue to be proud of the recess in the cracks in the finish. And it won't, the appearance of the CA glue against the appearance of the lacquer is virtually invisible. Not to mention, this is on the back of the guitar neck, so the only person that's ever going to see it is the owner, so I still want it to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some hardener. And you'll notice that when I hit it with that hardener, it kind of crinkled up a little bit, right? I don't know if the camera is going to show that very clearly, but that's why you want to be careful about using this accelerator too quickly after putting the glue on there, because it will take and it will make a mess. It will make a mess of things and create a lot of extra work for you. So, looking really good at this point. So now that I've got the tape on here, I've gotten all the accelerator knocked off of here, I'm going to go at it with my razor blade. And I'm just scraping off the rough surface here. Oftentimes there's little bumps where there's a thicker or taller spot of the CA glue. Now I'm going to do this before I pull the glue off. That way I can see when my razor blade starts making contact with the tape, and then I can peel the tape off and know that I've got a good smooth surface that I've scraped it down to. These tools, this is probably one of my most used tools almost every single day I use this scalpel. I'm not a doctor, but I play one on television. No, YouTube. It's not television. Been having some problems with StreamYard. I have had some wonderful help with sponsorship of my YouTube channel, and that allowed me to pay for StreamYard, but unfortunately I'm having some issues with the services that they say they provide, and it's not working the way that it was described. And I feel like it's important for me to say something about this, because I am a paying customer and I have requested help for an extent of almost 2 weeks now, and I've gotten no help from them. So the customer service from I'm not using StreamYard right now, by the way. I'm just simply using YouTube. But be careful subscribing to stuff like that, because it doesn't always work as described. I don't like to, I'm not going to say too bad, aside from the fact that their customer service has been what I would consider non-existent. If I ran my business like that, where somebody called me with a question or needed my help solving something that I said I did, and I gave them the kind of help that I've received from StreamYard, I would not be in business very long. Our shop has been in business here in this community for 50 years. And there's a way we do that. And that is 100% customer service. We answer the phone. Somebody has a question, we call them back. If they ask for help and somebody's not here that can help them, we forward that information to the person that can help them, and we communicate with them. When you start dealing with corporations and online invisible services, it's quite often that we don't get the help that we need, and we don't get the service that we pay for. And that's what I'm getting with StreamYard right now. And StreamYard is not cheap. If you've subscribed to StreamYard at all, at any level, what they charge people for the services that they give is out of this world expensive. Way too expensive for what it is. So, enough of that. Now, as I've gone over this a few times, I can tell that the surface is now becoming very smooth. There's one little rough spot right here, and that was because I was hitting the tape. And I'm going to go over this one more time, because I can see that there are still some low spots in the glue. I'm going to clean this. I'm going to give a little bit of I'm going to go over this again with some Roncinol, just to make sure that I have all of the chips of CA glue out of the way, cleaned off. Roncinol, I use a lot of Roncinol. Also, it's a great cleaner. Always test before you just go throwing it on something. You got to make sure that it won't damage the finish. All right, here we go. I'll go over this one more time. I can tell that there's some low spots right here where that crack is. So we're going to hit it one more time with some glue. All right. I'm going to soak some of this puddle right here up. You can see that it soaks up very nicely. Having a paper towel handy when you're using CA glue is also a really good idea, because it will soak up CA glue just like it will water. CA glue will just soak right into the paper towel, and it'll save you a whole lot of scraping and sanding and such. And also, I've already applied the accelerator to this, so going over that, this glue is drying very quickly. And it's drying nice and clear. I have a little bit of my paper towel stuck here. That's fine, I'll scrape that off. Is this making sense? Yep. Okay. Now, this is not only a cosmetic repair, it's also a functionality repair when it comes down to something like this. It's uncomfortable. And, you know, it's interesting because I didn't really notice it when I was able to take this guitar home after I put the new pickup in it the other day and play it at home, and I didn't even notice this, but Scott was definitely a little agitated with having to feel it. I have an alarm going off. I think I might have a doctor's appointment today. What do I have? Hang on. What is that? Let me see here. Hang on. Oh, I have a video meeting I need to be at today. So, I am going to have to stop this stream. I forgot that I had that scheduled today. Goofy me. So, we'll get... I'll probably go live and show you the final... what this thing looks like when I'm all done. I'm just going to kind of go over it. You can see that I just kind of scrape very lightly with this to remove any excess material. And I'm about at a point now where I could probably pull the tape off and start sanding. And there will definitely be a little bit of the tape left on the fingerboard just because some of it's gotten glued down. And that's fine. We'll sand that off. And now I can see that I've gotten the CA glue deep enough because I'm not seeing any shiny places left. It kind of dulls it as you scrape it with the razor blade. And I've got a thick spot right here that I need to go over a few times and knock this down. Take your time, don't hurry. There's no reason to hurry on this stuff because you're only gonna speed up mistakes ultimately, right? We want everything to be nice and look nice and get done correctly. So, you guys, I have to end this stream now, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Richard, I hope this helps you. I think this will be something you can do. Now on your guitar, it may not take this much effort. You just want to, on yours, I think it's important to try and keep the finish from chipping out any further, which is why I would do this to your guitar. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you tackle this process on your guitar, best of luck to you, brother. I hope this might help you. Thank you for being here today, Richard. It's great to see you. I hope you have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, y'all. Have a great day.